Well, I tried. I gave it an honest effort. I'm gonna work on it later some more, but I don't know how many hours it was, an hour and a half or so, or more. That's interesting though. I got a lot of it working. I've not done a lot of shit like Python and all that, and the dependencies and directories, and I know what those words mean. You know what I mean? But I've not done it before, so I got all the way to the part where I'm trying to install PyAudio basically, but I've got the local large language model installed through LM Studio. I have it up and running, well, in the server to connect to it locally. Um, I got OpenAI Whisper installed successfully, and the only thing I couldn't get to work was PyAudio. So what I'm trying to do is basically just to see if I can't make something that I can talk to and that it can talk to me. You know what I mean? And I use Llama 8B, 8 billion token, whatever it's called, right? Instruct set through LM Studio, and then I had to install Windows Builder tools and all this shit, dude. I just need another computer to do it, basically. Got it all sort of working, right? And I was like reading it, I'm like, okay, well, explanation sounds great, but something I've never been able to successfully do, like maybe a few times, but it seems like, and I troubleshooted through some of it. I was able to get some of the shit to work and change some of the pathing and all that and get the environmental variables and stuff that I've never done before. So I learned a lot today. I don't remember, like, I fucking get to this point, it keeps telling me I need a certain file, and I go to the directory, and I found the file, and I put it in the folder like computers normally do, like good computers, and it's still saying that that file's not there or something, and that the only other option is to compile it from source, which is something I'm not fucking familiar with. And even then, configuring the scripts, and I've done all that kind of shit before, sort of. And I know I can figure it out now, but I cannot get this. The thing that sucks is that I had it successfully installed at some point, and then I went and installed. They said, "Well, you'll be better off using a full installer for audio, Whisper, and the other thing." And I used that, and then I guess it overwrote the directory, and now I'm eating spaghetti with Will Smith. Right? That's what it feels like, bro. It's the worst. Shut up. So that was the adventure for today, and if like the thing is I don't know. I don't know, but I'm understanding a little more how this works, which is cool. But I would really like to get it working where I could talk to an AI right on a local thing. I feel like I did enough. But I cannot get the thing. It says the port audio.h file or some shit is it references the file, but then the file's not in the directory. It says the last thing that runs, the cl dot whatever, is the error thing. Yeah, I fucking cannot get the thing to work, dude. I haven't given up on everything, but Pi Audio. And do you when you do a PowerShell or whatever, like if that's what it's called, do you use Python for your terminal or do you use the regular Windows PowerShell or whatever? Is there like I cannot get the fucking Python thing to work. Do you have to change the directory or not? Or do you just use Windows PowerShell and it installs like all the shit, whatever? Some people, bro, I don't fucking know. But that's been the extent of my Rick and Morty adventure for today. And the heroic is ramparts. If I could just proof the concept, I would be just fine with that. You know what I mean? Hellfire Ramparts. But it's cool to see that LM Studio seems real nice. Like nice and easy to use. You can select from all the stuff, and I guess that's the thing that essentially pipes any of the large language model stuff to various through APIs and stuff. So like that is essentially the thing that generates the text. Maybe it doesn't display it there, and then it pipes it to say another script, and that script processes the text, and then can feed it back into the LM Studio for more processing or responses, right? And then it's like this conversation between LM Studio, which interfaces with the large language model. I can kind of see how how it webs out and all that stuff. How it's all these things just kind of talking to each other, um, and then various Python scripts. I guess is like having a superpower if you know how to do that shit, dude. It seems super valuable. Um, I'd love to figure it all out. I got plenty of time. I need a workstation and a chair. I didn't sleep a whole lot last night, unfortunately, but it's that time of year, all stuffed up, and but I might seek some type of advice on the matter. But it's something, man. I've set this stuff like this up when I was younger, Python scripts and shit to play Diablo and all that, whatever it was, and the one thing I've always was always like trying to get the fucking dependencies is like I can't visualize, like, you know what I mean. Some people have that they can visualize a command line thing in their head, like they don't need a graphic user interface. That's not something I'm in like super good at naturally or whatever. But there are some people that can see the shit in their head and all that. And I'm like without a user interface, I mean, I fucking I'm like dependencies, all that computer talk. But I got it all figured out for the most part, and then I got stuck on the goddamn Pi Audio, which it successfully installed at one point in time, and then the thing said, well, you need to install Whisper along with one other thing, and the thing is that I keep trying to install this Pi Audio thing, and it keeps telling me that I need a file that only exists in the Pi Audio folder. I'm like, I don't have it installed yet. Why would it be there? You do that. You figure that out, right? But shit, man, I can figure it all out. I know that much. There's probably a simpler way to do it too. Like I'm certain there is, but I'm wanting to do it the hard way so I can learn more about some of that stuff versus just like API calls and stuff. Like I want to be able to build the module part of it and have and create the API token and everything else or whatever versus like it seems like how much of these things and there's always going to be some like external API access probably for the time being on certain things, but how much of this can I localize and understand myself versus just depending on somebody else's thing to make it work, right? Especially if you're trying to just proof a concept, you're like, yeah, well, fucking, she can pretend to be retarded or whatever, and like the fucking gibberish words. It's like I just want it to work, I want it to proof that it's communicating between these various things and all that. Not necessarily like how elegant is her speech. It's like, yeah, well, use a local large language model that is limited in token count, and then you realize like, yeah, well, you can just connect it to an external API at some point in time, right? You need to. But Not to say I'm sweating my balls off, but I don't think the air conditioning is working as good as it could. Laptop. What was really that guy? Oh man. It's one of those things you wish they wouldn't. Now, if I could just, why should it be any more like? It says a problem building the wheel. What does that even mean, right? It's a term I need to look up. It says problem building the wheel for the fucking thing. And I was like, at what point in time did I flub a step to where I need to start from scratch? How do I wipe the dependencies and all that and start from scratch? Now that I know how to do it, but I can't imagine what the error I encountered the first time. Somebody said you can install from a pre-compiled thing or whatever, and I did that, and it seemed like that worked after I kept encountering these fucking errors. I got it to work one time, and then I fucking... Anyway. I had OpenAI Whisper working, I had Pi Audio working, and I had all working. Figure if I give it a few hours a day. Hope it gets colder here soon. This is Ramparts. So I'll keep people posted as if I make any progress trying to figure it out. I figure that'll be more helpful and more practical than something that's like this kind of like overarching kind of just like trying to develop an app or something would be biting off more than I can chew without having a basic understanding, you know. You can't vibe code your way into heaven, bro. You cannot vibe code your way into heaven. Oh man. Trying to vibe code your way into heaven. And enchanting and respect fire. Do you guys want me frost? Cool, cool. So I don't know how to uninstall the shit though. I know there was somebody that would just, I swear, they would look at it and go, they would know right away how to fix the fucking thing, you know? Derp. Guys, he saw an update. Oh, fuck, me running. No, don't go that way. Run backwards. Ah, keyboard turn. Quick, we're in a hurry. Keyboard turn. Fucking stopped up nose, man. Anyway, I will figure it out, man. I will figure this shit out. I'm like intrigued by it. I just have to figure out like, okay, a fresh restart. How do I not like just keep rewriting like my? There's got to be a whole part of my computer I'm not even aware of that looks like Charles Manson lived there. You know, like shit just everywhere and folders with swastikas for names. Just bizarre. Like, cause I've tried to install this thing like 100 times, and I have a feeling that there's like a folder that just has like loads of fucking failed attempts to try and install the thing, and makes no sense whatsoever, right? How the fuck do I make it work? Fucking helter skelter and all this shit. Golly. Charles Manson vibe coder. There's a sketch comedy idea. And on your resume here it says vibe coding, right? Yeah, for sure. It's the funny thing here is I said that the character Jerry on Rick and Morty. It's like his resume reads like however many years at the ad agency. 25 years, and like in the last 3 years, the only new skill added is vibe coding. Right? It is quite literally like the zeroest flex of all time. The fucking zeroest flex, bro. Vibe coder. Charles Manson, philanthropist, musician, something else. Vibe coder. Right. Right. It's exactly it too, man. It's the nothingest flex of all time. It is. It's on cooldown, guy. I'm trying. I just need someone smarter than me to teach me how to do this shit, man. I'll figure it out. I need someone to fucking teach me how to do this shit, guy. I thought about getting Chat GPT and asking Chat GPT, but I'm like, I know they wanted to get jealous of each other or whatever. Thought about inviting Chat GPT to the party, but I didn't want him to get jealous of Llama. Play, make, pretend. Fuck. I fucking fucked that up. Oh my god, you cannot. Fucked up that counter spell. Yikes, that sap is gonna break. And now everything pulls. Yikes. Nope. We good. Oh. If I applied myself for 1 week on how learning how to do this shit, I'd be able to figure it out. I know that much. At least that part of it. Now that I know there's not like a bunch of fancy footwork and shit involved, it's like the large language model portion seems straightforward. You know, like I don't necessarily have to understand the science to get it to work. You know what I mean? Which I thought was different. You know, I thought I'm like you had to have an understanding of how large language models work to get the fucking thing to work. And I'm like, wait a second, you can know absolutely zero about the shit basically and just plug it into each other if you know how to do that much. But the thing is it uses STT to TTS, which I always have called it something else, but that's what it stands for. We're skipping it, looks like. Hey, let me skip, guy. Oh, and Pine Nut is the other thing. I gotta fucking 3 files and it tries and it fucks up on the third one. Pi Audio. Don't know why. Don't know how to fix it. Oh shit. As long as the sheep doesn't break. Just sit there and say, well, I didn't tell you to sheep it. Okay. Let's hope it doesn't break then. Coming out a little bit of a cold or something. Seasonal allergies. The switch from winter to suddenly 78 degrees, right? He is too, man. We're both situation monitoring. He's covering the war in Israel, and I'm playing World of Warcraft. Right, right. Good Hodge. Sweet Hodge, bro. I think it's a compatibility issue because at some point in time it worked, then it didn't work, and it said maybe you'd be better off trying to download or pip install a pre something, and I did that and it worked, and then I did, and the next step said, well, we need you to install PyNut and and Whisper, or a PyNut with it, right? The third file, and when I did that, the Pi Audio stopped working. And then when I tried to check to see if it was correctly installed, the fucking returned an error message instead. So if I can just get back to that step and reinstall based on what that command said versus just a regular pip install, it was something slightly different. Because it's like, you need to do something with this Pi Audio folder, file, whatever. And then when I say show Pi Audio, it says it's not installed. Like, it's telling me, one website is telling me that the error is occurring on something that is yet to be installed. My only option is to compile it from source, and I have no fucking clue how to do that. I would like to learn though, because at some point in time, one of the things I'm like, how the fuck does this all compile? Like, when does it go from just being a bunch of gibberish on a text document to like something you can click and install on your computer? I would love to learn how to do it. So we might try to uninstall some of the shit and reinstall it one at a time instead of doing a batch install. Is where the error seemed to have occurred. It was working fine, and then right. Oregon Trail. Strangely enough, my the teacher I told you that I used to I made that creepy teacher I had in middle school. His teacher was his the guy that invented Oregon Trail. Isn't that weird? So my creepy seventh grade teacher I put on blast on GeoCities. And probably almost got him arrested, right? No, they weren't arresting people for that in my where I grew up for whatever reason. A bunch of corrupt pieces of shit, but whatever. Um, and his teacher actually is the guy that invented Oregon Trail. Isn't that cool? He was from the army, and I forgot to mention he looked just like Ted Cruz. Isn't that a little weird? I don't say anything negative about Ted Cruz, but he looked just like Ted Cruz. It's kind of funny, isn't it? We don't have a healer. We got no choice with the full burn here. That's not gonna hit it. That's just like, how many times to this day? How many times today are we gonna do that? Oh, I will figure it out. But I guess there's tiered dependencies. So like, I don't understand why there's not like a part of a file. Does this exist? Can we implement this feature to the internet where it lists all of the dependencies within the file and then automatically downloads them so I don't look like an idiot for not knowing how to do any of this shit? 'Cause every time I look up a strategy guide on how to, like, I go to cheatpuppy.com, I look it up with the cheat codes how to do this shit. Fuck. And it says, well, there's dependencies. You have to have the dependencies. I'm like, why isn't that not in the file? Remember that at some point in history they have it down to where I just double click and click install. Why did we not do that with all this stuff as the thing? Anyway, is it expensive? Is it hard to do? Only a few wizards know how to do it. Job security, probably somewhere, like as long as we keep it a secret on how we turn these text files into files, none of us will ever have to work again, right? I feel that way about certain shit, like Glenn Beck was one of the guys that always said that at some point in time all technology ends up being lorded over rather by a priest class of, like pseudo religious figures that know how to do all this, like where you only get to use a certain part of a technology, like they understand the real deal, kind of like source code of it, right? He always said it was one of the possible futures, and I'm looking at it, dude, because I cannot convert a text file into a .exe. I don't know how to do it. So, whatever. Oh no. Well, he's standing in the consecrate now, so. But I would like to have a thing where it says the audio files whisper the text, the speech to text thing I get, but as far as the reverse, text to speech, I guess it's where I have to get something from like 11 Labs to convert text to audio, or is there an open source version of that with a whole bunch of voices that I can choose from? Would be cool. But then I can add the Llama also has a vision model that allows it to see your screen, so not to say I'm trying to reverse engineer what Def did, but I want a better understanding of it, so I'm not a fucking fool about it. And he's a great guy, man. I always hate being the ignorant one. You know what I mean? Because at some point in time, not that I think he would ever do that to me, but people that like know I'm ignorant about something, not in like a negative way, just a fucking lack of knowledge for circumstantial reasons, for whatever reason. You know, not everybody's a rocket scientist or whatever. And I felt that I always feel more vulnerable when I'm ignorant to something, you know. And I always hate having to go to people for help with shit, you know. I'm like, I can learn this shit, you know. I don't have to be the best at it, but I can figure it out. So I don't want to. I don't ever want to have to rely on somebody for that kind of thing. Wow. So I don't have frost. Yeah. But if I could set up a workstation reasonably, like I could put together a standalone box of this fucking thing, right? At some point in time, using the same stuff, you know, if I learn how to do it all. I would need like probably like a $5,000 desktop computer, but or so with a few graphics cards and all that, or more, you know, probably more than that. But you shouldn't need a whole fucking server in your bedroom for it. But I've seen that there's a thing called ACE, whatever. It allows you to do like open source AI music generation, and you know, it'd be fun. Kind of has me wonder what Jodie Foster thinks about all this. What do you think Jodie Foster thinks about all this AI stuff? Fuck. I heard a stealth. I forgot to hear stealth, does it? They're showing this one hotel or whatever this is in Beirut. It's all lit up like everything else is like the lights are off. We got this, like all these lights shining on this one place for some reason. That guy died. Shit. Fuck. I tried to, man. I mana shield instead of ice blocked. We should be alright. No, everybody's dead, dude. All DPS is dead. He's not gonna die, dude. It's gonna take all week for this to work. Oh, damn it. Mm. I don't know if I pulled aggro or I could have ice blocked, but I didn't know if I pulled aggro if it was just a random shadow bolt. If I'd known I pulled aggro, I would have ice blocked and I would have lived and we would have killed it. But I derped it. I can't imagine how. I wish I knew. I say I wish I knew. I really. I'm glad I don't know more. But to say that it's crazy, man. Like send ground troops into Iran. Good God, I hope not. Like why can't like airstrikes? Why won't airstrikes work? Are they expensive? I know they're expensive, but shit. Like, like in all honesty, how much longer can the Iranian regime keep up doing what they're doing? Now the news is saying the Russians are getting involved in some way, shape, or form, but I don't believe the news ever. I'm not saying it won't happen or that it isn't. I'm just saying I don't believe the news. You know, I always thought it was weird that the Iranians have such a sophisticated drone program of all the countries that have a sophisticated drone program. So much so that they actually rely, the Russians rely on the Iranians to make their drones, at least some of them. I always thought, why the fuck can't Russia make their own drones of all things, right? And even the Americans had captured an Iranian drone at some point in time and modeled one of our drones based off their design, right? Like, what the fucking. I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. Max range. Right. She was a joke that time. What the fuck? I guess when the other guy stayed up, a lot more DPS this go around. Fuck, now we have no DPS. Come on now. Hit. They should have it where you can at least turn in badges for gold, because they only give you 3 items. Like, the badge system's awesome, but for fucking nothing to exchange it for, you know? Do they add something later? So I think after this, I'm gonna give it a go. Try and. Well, I might wait. I just have no reason to be playing this shit, really. You know. I don't feel super great. I got allergies and shit. I didn't sleep very well, and I'm a doctor too. It's hot outside. I don't have the air conditioning on. Um, yeah, in all reality, now that I know how to do it, if I uninstall this shit, it only takes a few minutes. You know. No. It's past your bedtime, probably. Neil. They resist? What chances of that? Oh wow.
Is there any chance that Israeli forces are there fighting with Hezbollah? Now, I will say this. Often, when there is like big Israel military news, um, the press in Israel isn't allowed to report on it for a while. So you might not hear reporting on this from Israeli press while it's going on. Especially if like Israeli troops are injured or something, it could take like hours to hear about
Oh,
Israeli troops
hours. It
recovering
takes
from weapons.
hours. Oh.
I believe that fire is still raging.
Stretch.
It's been
Anyway,
years.
well, I really want to give it another go, man. I want to get it to work. So I guess I'm gonna stop streaming for a little while. I might log on after, try and uninstall the shit, reinstall it, see